So I want to talk in more detail today about headaches and what kind of headaches could somebody experience,
Right.
and what sort of symptoms specifically are they going to feel from those kind of headaches, so that they can actually identify the headache as relating to the car accident and then get the proper treatment. Now, in these kind of headaches, it's critical to have, again, expert care, expert treatment, because headaches can become chronic, and if a headache becomes chronic, it becomes harder to treat, and then patients end up being on more anti-inflammatories or headache pain medication, and those are really hard to come off of, and they have a lot of side effects. So treating headaches naturally is our expertise, and so we can go through with the listeners today on what kind of headaches and what can they experience.
Okay, so let's take a quick short break, and then let's come back and discuss about the headaches.
Sounds like a plan.
Listen to Dr. Sonie every
Yours
Friday,
hurt.
10 a.m. on New Zealand.
So I was going to say a couple of things, like, so when we come back from the break, let's do reintroduction. It's Dr. Sonie, blah, 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 and then I want to mention that Dalai Lama event. I forgot to mention that.
Which one?
The Dalai Lama's live broadcast. I'll mention that briefly, and then we'll talk about the headaches, and then I think we're going to be coming back into it, and then we'll talk about the 4 major steps. Thanks, Swati.
You're welcome. Hi listeners, you're back on the show with Dr. Sonie, and I'm your host Swati. You're listening to 1170 AM. Let me quickly introduce Dr. Sonie to you, just in case you tuned in or missed the introduction part. Dr. Sonie is a chiropractic physician, and her health center practices services like chiropractic, acupuncture, orthopedic massages. Her office is located in San Jose, very near to the San Jose International Airport. So, and quickly, I'll give out the office number, which is 408-729-1808. Once again, the office number for Dr. Sonie is 408-729-1808. You can reach her on email, which is sonieclinic@gmail.com. So sonieclinic@gmail.com. And obviously the website is sonieclinic.com. In case you would like to talk to her right now in our studio, the number is 408-912-5565. Again, the studio number to talk to Dr. Sonie is 408-912-5565. And if you call Dr. Sonie's clinic and book an appointment between 10 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. today, you would get a 30 minutes free massage, and as a compliment along with the appointment that you would like to set. So, Dr. Sonie, we were talking about the headaches, but before that, would you like to talk about another event which we were discussing about, the
Yes.
Dalai Lama event?
I wanted to actually mention something that's coming up between June 1st and 4th. It's not exactly connected to the topic, but I think it's really a great opportunity for me to bring out this event that's happening. It's a live webcast, and it's by the Dalai Lama. So it's a live webcast from India, and I think it's probably an amazing event. So if anybody has a chance to listen in, basically I would suggest visiting the dalailama.com/liveweb, and you'll get all the information about how to tune into that event. For us, California time, it actually begins tonight at 9 p.m. So it is June 1st through 4th on the schedule, but for California time, it will be tonight at 9 p.m. But it's supposed to be a guide to the way of life. And I think this is something, especially since I am, I have a natural health clinic. These sort of events are something that I really like to just highlight. I think it's really important for us to know about them. So anyone can go and visit the dalailama.com, and that would have more information about that event.
Wow, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about the kind of headaches which a person might experience after the car injury. What are the symptoms for those headaches?
Yes, so these are some really, really important points to note. Any of the listeners could actually make a point of these, or go ahead and, like I said, send me an email if you have specific questions. But basically, after a car accident, patients could experience what we call a post-traumatic headache. And a post-traumatic headache is exactly that. It's something which develops from neck and back pain, and then it travels up and over the head and causes trigger points in the muscles that surround our head, actually. And that causes the pain of a headache. And the thing is, they usually occur after an accident, so they're called post-traumatic. The important part about this is, one, to recognize it right when it happens, and then second is to get the appropriate consultation, minimum consultation, and then have the person tell you, have the doctor explain to you what kind of prognosis you have, or what kind of treatment it would be necessary for those headaches, for you to have the proper treatment, the proper diagnosis, and then the proper taking care of that headache. Because living with a headache, a lot of times I get patients coming in that say they've had headaches every day since a car accident. And they didn't realize that it was because of the car accident. And then we treat them, and within days, the headaches are gone. And imagine the quality of life or the way they can get back into their kids' life or their work life after they've gotten rid of a headache.
Yeah.
And the thing is, sometimes just taking an Advil or ibuprofen or Excedrin doesn't manage, it doesn't actually create a solution for the headache. It's only a temporary relief of a headache. And I don't want patients to get caught up in that temporary relief. We need to find permanent solutions for our pain, and that's why it's important for you to take that step. So there are a couple of different types of headaches that they could have. So first of all, if you're feeling pressure in the top of your head or behind the eyes or pressure even in your jaw or in behind the neck area or even in your upper back that's causing radiation into the upper head area or pressure in the temples. These are all areas that are headaches that could be resulting from a car accident if you've been in a car accident. And even if you've not been in a car accident but you're experiencing temporal pain or head pain or something behind the neck, these are all common headache areas that we are experts in treating. But especially if you've been in a car accident and then are experiencing headaches, it's very important that you have a proper follow-up and a proper consultation.
Okay, so yeah, most of the times I've seen, you have a headache and then you have something important lined up. You tend to ignore the headache.
Yes.
So that's not really very good.
I know sometimes our life almost gets in the way of our life. So it's important that we have to really step aside and say, hey, this is actually aggravating. It's actually bringing my efficiency down.
Yeah.
I'm not able to have the best quality of life. I'm not enjoying my children because I have this constant headache. Or, people who suffer from migraines. These can also result from or become aggravated by a car accident. So if somebody is a migraine patient already, and then they experience a car accident, they can actually have an aggravation of those migraines. And they can come on full force or get worse. So again, it's important for you to be in the proper place and have the appropriate treatment.
Okay. And what should we? What are the expectations that we should set for our listeners if they want to come to your clinic? What kind of care would they get? What kind of assistance that would they get?
Sure. So that's a great question, Swati. So I think it's really important for the community to become connected with this clinic because this clinic offers those pain solutions with it's an expert solution. It's not just, okay, come in here for some treatment and then, we're done. It's not like that. It's about creating a relationship and making sure the patient is comfortable. And it's all about that patient. It's about making sure that that patient is in the right place, getting the appropriate treatment. So we follow very serious and very strict protocol. It's very important that, first of all, the listeners know, as a community, what can we do and be very well aware of what to do if somebody is going through a car accident or experiences a car accident. So first of all, I think we should review those steps. We talked about these briefly last week, but let's review them again. So there's 4 main steps. If somebody is going through a car accident or you just had one and you're like, okay, now what do I do? First of all, step number 1, make sure that you're in a safe place. I can't emphasize this enough. Many times I've had a patient come in and say, I was rear-ended on the freeway. And then we stopped and we got out of our cars. And I thought, oh my goodness, the freeway is very high traffic, high-speed traffic. Make sure, step number 1, you are safe. You're in a safe position, safe place. Because you might be in a car accident, but if you get out of your vehicle in an unsafe place, you could become in a worse situation. So number 1, be in a safe place. Let's take another question quickly. Hi, this is Dr. Sonie. Oh, 3, okay. Sorry about that. So second point is after being safe. You really want to make sure that you call your insurance company. You've stepped out of the car, you're in a safe location, either you've pulled off onto the shoulder, or even better yet, if you can drive the car, the both of you have taken the next exit, or pulled off into a complex where you can actually discuss with each other, exchange information. So once you're in a safe place, that's step number 1. Step number 2, exchange information with each other. Exchange information with the other driver, get the license information, get the insurance information. Step number 3, call your insurance, and you can interchange those steps. If you want to call your insurance first and report the accident, whatever fits the both of you and fits your schedule. And once you've called the insurance company, step number 4, very, very important step, is to call Sonie Clinic and make sure that you have that phone number with you so that you can report that incident and we can get the paperwork started immediately. Because your insurance company wants to see exactly that you came in at the appropriate time. If you wait for 3 days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks, that becomes more and more questionable about when that pain began. So it's important that you've had that first doctor-patient interaction, and you can call Sonie Clinic at 408-729-1808, and then we're going to go ahead and handle all the paperwork of that case. And if you are in a car accident, we will see you the same day and make sure that you get the appropriate care and appropriate attention. So those are the 4 major steps of what should be done if you're in a car accident. 4 very important steps. And I think we should really have those in mind if we're going through that kind of experience, or share that with your friends. And you can also visit my website, sonieclinic.com, that has more information about the treatments that we do in a lot more detail. And then you can always schedule a complimentary consultation. Like I said, I'll be there in person at the Vibha event this Sunday as well, June the 2nd, from 7 a.m. onwards. So go ahead and come and meet all of my staff there in person and get more information, and also enjoy an amazing event.
Okay, it was really informative session, Dr. Sonie, as usual, and thank you for coming on our show.
Thank you.
Okay, and listeners, if you want to listen to Dr. Sonie and her information, whatever she talks about, it impacts our day-to-day life, you can always tune in to 1170 a.m. from 10 to 10:30 a.m. every Friday. All right, have a great weekend.
Awesome. Thank you, Swati. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. It really helps me to get the information out. And you reminded me about the thing. I keep. It's good that you're there too. Like the topic, the second part. I was like, what are we gonna talk about? Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I love this song. Do you know Marco? I told him I like the song. He always plays it for me at the end. That's so awesome.
Which one was it? Like,
This is Hookah Bar.
oh yeah.
I'm so hooked on this song. I'm still hooked on it. It's not even that new anymore, right?
Yeah.